Shalom and welcome to my weekly video message. In today's episode, I'd like to speak about an incredible individual that the Jewish world lost last week. Rabbi Adin Yisrael Steinzalts was an Israeli rabbi, teacher, philosopher, social critic, author, translator, and publisher, as well as a devout chassid of the Rebbe. Rabbi Steinzalts devoted nearly half a century to translating the Talmud for modern readers. But as his son put it, perhaps his greatness was found most in his incredible humility. In 1970, after Rabbi Steinzalts had visited the Rebbe as representative of the late Israeli President Zalman Shazar, the Rebbe wrote a letter to the president, and in the postscript, the Rebbe describes the honor and privilege it was to meet Rabbi Steinzalts, and writes that he saw qualities that were far beyond that which were described to him. The Rebbe then blesses him that he should be able to use his qualities to the fullest, and that his humility should not hold him back from doing so. In 2014, a group from our Chabad joined an event of soul encounters in tribute to the Rebbe. Rabbi Steinzalts was one of the speakers, and I'll never forget the way he described what drew him to Chabad and to the Rebbe. When he was 15, he began searching for somebody who could do more for him than simply answering questions. He was searching for greatness. To help us understand what he found, he shared a funny experience that made a big impression on him. It was the experience of seeing a plucked peacock. He explained that when you see a peacock open its feathers, you see a glorious bird. But the moment you pluck its feathers, you find out that in truth, it's just an ugly, emaciated hen. It's very disappointing. After that encounter of seeing the plucked peacock, whenever he saw peacock feathers, he could not help but think about the plucked hen beneath those feathers. He said there are many people who have beautiful feathers, whether it's feathers of science, feathers of power, or feathers of other things. Not that they are ugly, but behind their beautiful feathers, they are just regular people. But upon encountering the Rebbe, it was like having a small meeting with Mount Everest. You cannot measure it on the spot, but you know it's something really big, and it's not just a show. It's not a peacock. It wasn't easy to measure it, he said, but those who met the Rebbe met real greatness. In his book, My Rebbe, which took him close to 20 years to complete, Rabbi Steinzalts shared the famous tale of a man who came to a rabbi and complained that his wife, his children, and his mother-in-law were all stuffed into a small apartment. He was practically suffocating. The man also happened to mention that he had a goat. So the rabbi advised that he bring the goat into his apartment. The man did as he was told, but the goat took up so much room and also smelled bad. So he returned to the rabbi and complained that the situation had become worse, and now they were more crowded than ever. So the rabbi said, okay then, you can now take out the goat. And a few days later, the man returned and reported that now, thank God, we have some space. In Rabbi Steinzalts' last letter to the Rebbe, he wrote that he was holding down 3 full-time jobs: scholarly writing, outreach work in Russia, and a network of schools in Israel. Since it all seemed like too much for one person, he asked what to focus on. His answer was typical of the Rebbe, that he should continue to do all these things and do more things and work even harder. Basically, he complained that he was overworked, and the Rebbe told him in effect, bring the goat in. As Rabbi Steinzalts put it, the Rebbe believed that by doing more, we could change the very nature of our reality. The science of physics has a law that when one applies massive amounts of pressure to an object, the molecules collapse and the very nature of the object changes. In a way, this is what the Rebbe wanted to do. He wanted to change the very nature of human matter, human behavior, the very way the human being operates. With everybody he encountered, he tried to change their nature into something completely different. They weren't regular people anymore. They became something else. I believe this attitude changed Rabbi Steinzalts. And if we try to apply it to our own lives, it could change us too. So are you ready to bring the goat in? Add a mitzvah. Give charity. Study Torah. Put up a mezuzah. Give your child a Jewish education. Express love for your fellow. Come hear the shofar on Rosh Hashanah. Shake the lulav on Sukkot. Light the Shabbat candles. You too will soon see how you could change the very nature of your reality. Shabbat Shalom.